All right then. Let's. Well, I think that's it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Hello.
You need to introduce it first.
Yeah. No. Yeah. All right. How's it going? This is episode 1 of series 1. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. let's see how well this gets received first.
Let's see how well this gets received and see how many complaints I get. My name's Kyle, and this is the Crewroom, where I'm going to be interviewing paramedics, police, fire, everyone really. Military, yeah, doctors, nurses, things like that. Anyone with a background in sort of the emergency services, I guess, because funnily enough, we all have funny stories to tell.
Funny and interesting stories, absolutely.
Funny and interesting.
There's a lot of clinical podcasts out there.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Kyle's going in a different direction with this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like the rescue room.
Rescue room.
Might be another one. Might be another one. The recess room, and there's like what was the American chap? The rescue.
The Real Rescue.
The Real Rescue. Yeah. So they obviously.
Which is a good podcast. You should check it out.
Yeah, it does. It's a really good podcast. But obviously, I'm just going to be focusing on the humorous situations that we seem to find ourselves
the more human
in.
side of the job.
Absolutely. It's like a bit of human factors, isn't it?
Yeah.
So throughout the weeks, we'll be interviewing more and more people. John being the first victim of all of this, and a very good friend and someone who's encouraged me deeply to do this. Misguided, yeah. Along with my dad, he said I should write a book, but I am a potato farmer. That's what I'm called on the COD chat. So yeah, welcome. You can follow along on @thatsaltypara on my Twitter, Instagram, and I think I've got TikTok. I do have a TikTok, but I don't know if
do
it's
you?
that. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I watch a load of shit on it.
Yes, you do, because I remember seeing one of your TikToks about using MyBib.
That wasn't me.
It was. About using a reference generator, because
Because
I went through my entire degree hand referencing.
Yeah,
and then
I did the same.
And then for my master's, someone went like, you can use a reference.
Yeah,
generator.
you could just do this thing that's like, oh yeah,
and then you just copy and paste, and like, oh, I have wasted so much of my time.
Fuck. So much like that, I am a shit cunt with technology. So this is going to be really clunky to start with because I am a potato, as I've just said. So audio recording equipment, I had to get the guidance of a good friend called Warren Spencer, hashtag Warren Spencer, and he sort of, again, gave me a kick up the ass to do this and sort of guided me on a deck, on the microphones, on the headphones. So like, hopefully, it turns out all right. It probably sounds really shit in your ears, but apparently when you listen to the recording, it's actually all right. John also lent me another phone, so this is all being recorded on iPhones. We'll find out how that goes. If it goes any better and I make some money, I might
we
buy
don't
some
have
cameras.
A paid partnership with Apple yet.
No, paid partnership, fucking hell. Don't need a paid partnership with fucking anything. No, the only TikTok that I made a funny with was
with Sasquatch.
The Big Les Show. Yeah, it's like my favourite programme fucking ever.
That went mildly viral.
It did, yeah, for a little while. Oh, Cess mate. Give it here. Yeah, so follow along. I think I'll launch up on Spotify, YouTube, frog in my throat. And I don't know who else, really. I don't know what other sort of...
Apple Podcasts?
I guess so.
Maybe.
Anything I don't have to pay for.
Spoken like a true paramedic.
Absolutely. Cheap as fuck. So this is episode 1. I've got John on with me. I tried doing a solo introduction, and it didn't really fucking help. That I'm not an actor, I'm not a public speaker, I can't write for shit. So I'd rather it just be natural and funny.
You never said I had to be funny. That wasn't part of the deal.
Damn it. Hey, wait.
My agent never signed up on any of this.
I never signed up for shit. But yeah, so welcome. I've got some presents for you afterwards. I've got you a patch.
Yeah, buddy.
Because some people are patch fiends, apparently.
Correct.
But yeah, I've signed Mo up to this.
Awesome.
So look out for that episode because he's a mad cunt.
He is. He's got some great stories. Some of which he probably can't repeat in the public domain.
He says all the military stuff he can because
he
it's what is it when something's too long?
Is that like the statute of limitations?
Statute of limitations.
But
yeah. He was like, I can get in trouble for this, but I can't get in trouble for the other stuff. Like, so I'm just gonna fucking tell you.
Absolutely.
Oh. All right then. I'm sorry. I'm just fiddling with some stuff because it just seems a bit loud. I guess. Maybe turn me up. Oh yeah. All right. Anyway.
I think for episode 1 we should probably focus more on you.
I guess so.
Born and raised Isle of Man.
Isle of Man. All my Manxies. All right. Yes, sir. How's it going, boy?
Home of the world's wildest motorbike race.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did some medical stuff over there.
Yeah.
Came over to the mainland.
Yeah.
Joined the
SWAS.
It was SWAS. It was post GWAS days.
It was not G.
The good old days.
Just as I joined, it was everyone still had GWAS uniforms on, and it was turning to the southwest, and everyone was like, "It's not the proper southwest."
So I joined back when it was GWAS.
Oh right, okay.
It was like just before it was about to not become GWAS, and it was
okay.
the most depressing corporate induction I've ever had. Because people would be coming and go, "Oh, hi, I'm such and such. We're going to talk about," and like today's my last day because I'm being made redundant.
Yeah.
Because there's now 2 or 3 of me in the trust. So that was fun. So, born and raised Isle of Man, came over here.
Yeah.
Let's start with your motivation for joining the job.
Oh fucking hell!
Yeah, come on. Why? What brought you to the world of pre-hospital emergency medicine?
So, I think I was. Not born into it, but
it is a lot like it. You know, you don't choose it; it chooses you.
I genuinely think so. So, to completely sidestep that, the most oh fucking hell!
Shut up!
Fucking, it's COVID, isn't it? It's all COVID.
It's not COVID.
It's always COVID. You've had that for like 6 months.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, some of the funniest and the best people I've met in this job are the ones that have joined by the seat of their pants. Like,
it's a weird thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many people fall into this job.
Yeah. Like Kez, who I hopefully get on. Yeah. She was like working as an estate agent, and then she seen the advert for ambulance technician in the paper and thought, I'll see how that goes.
Oh, sure, it'll be grand.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Like, oh, and then just ta-da! Like, oh.
So is that how you came into the job?
No.
Because obviously, you back on the island, you had stuff like Hog and these sort of things that you did stuff with.
Yes. And... So my path was a bit odd, I guess.
Shock.
Yeah. My parents are both medical. My dad isn't medical anymore, but originally he. Why is that doing that? You fucking piece of shit.
What?
Oh, it's just the mic throwing a wobbler, I think.
It's fine.
I think it's recording. I hope it's recording. We'll find out in a minute. So my dad worked for a company who shall remain unnamed, and he designed drug delivery systems. So he's a sort of a chemist, I guess, by trade, but no PhD or anything like that. But like knows like most of the periodic table off by heart, I think. And
you could win some bets with that.
Yeah. So he's not scared of cancer because he's like, I've been exposed to more radiation than most people, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to ask any more questions about that. Yeah. I think he worked in a university, and they were doing lots of like
stuff and things
with things that they probably like, oh, what does this button do? Like, he's now works in finance, but I think he's happily retired now. Or maybe not. We'll find out. Yeah. And mum's a nurse. So yeah, mum.
So you always grew up in sort of a medical.
Yeah. So like, my brother will probably listen to this and be like, "Oh, for fuck's sake," because he has no interest in it, like whatsoever. And anything gory or like piss, shit, vomit, he was always straight out the fucking door. Like, oh, the dog shit itself. Goodbye. I'm going out on my bike. Like, and I'd be the one to like clean it up, I guess. And then I, leaving school, I went into engineering. Yeah. And that didn't really work out. I tried to follow my brother, I guess, and try and steer clear of that path of healthcare, like forcibly, I guess. And then that
and it didn't work, and it still pulls you in.
No, that did not happen. And then I started as a healthcare assistant in a hospital and a hospice. And just
when you say a hospital, the hospital.
Hey, there's got 2 hospitals.
There's 2 hospitals on the Isle of Man.
Yeah, there is, yeah. I think there used to be more, but there's 2 now. There's Ramsey Cottage Hospital, fellas, also known as fucking Basra to any Manxies out there.
And obviously Nobles Park.
Nobles Park?
It is Nobles Park.
No, it's Nobles Hospital.
I thought it was
Henry Bloom Noble.
I thought it was Nobles Park Hospital.
No. Nobles Park is a place. It's where the grandstand is.
Close enough. It's not a very big island, let's be honest.
No, it's fucking not. It's
So yeah, anyway.
Healthcare assistant,
hospital
and then
hospice.
Yeah, hospital hospice. Learned a load there. Basically, just how to fucking talk to people.
Which, let's be honest, is 90% of the job, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that made me think, I could, this would be all right. This, and then through that.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, some of the nurses, like their husbands were paramedics, and you get talking to them, and then you work in A&E as a healthcare assistant, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, fine. And then I happened to stumble upon an advert in the paper.
It's like so many people I've spoken to. I've been in the ambulance service 12 years now, and I think of all the people I've ever worked with, and like, how have you ended up in the ambulance service? I think
I don't fucking know.
2, maybe 3 people have gone, that's what I've always wanted to do. Everyone else has been like, I saw an advert and thought, fuck it.
Yeah, send it. Well, the advent of the degree only, like you can direct entry, that's turned a lot of people to, it's what I've always wanted to do. And I'm just kind of like, really? Like, this is what you always wanted to do? But anyway. So
what was the advert you saw?
It was for the hog... the Phil Hogg Rescue Scholarship. I think it was called a scholarship.
Yeah, I
can't remember.
I think that is a thing still.
Anyway, they paid for you to do your ambulance technician, so your EMT for all the fucking Yanks out there.
Yeah.
Or EMTB or whatever they call it.
I think it'd be EMTB. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the UK people in the crowd,
IHCD Tech.
IHCD Tech. And they also, so you had a split role, so it was ambulance technician and also a rescue technician.
Yeah.
So the ambulances with Hog were like 2 stretchers, which is really strange to look at, and then lots of rescue gear.
So like the illegitimate love child of a fire engine and ambulance.
Basically, yeah. Fire and ambulance all sort of mushed into one vehicle. By the way, Phil Hogg's a really good charity on the Isle of Man. If you want to...
and the Rob Vine Fund.
And the Rob Vine Fund. Go put some money in the pot. Please put some money in the fucking pot. We like working at the TT. You got trained on Halmatro cutting gear, lifting gear. My helmet's... Oh, there it is.
It is there.
My helmet's still around. I was cutting some concrete the other day, so it's covered in shit. So that's where it sort of started. So my ambulance life started in like motorsport, basically.
Excellent. Cool.
So trauma. Some very exciting stuff happens on the Isle of Man, as you know. So it's not just the TT. It's things like
the Southern, the Manx.
The Manx.
The Manx Rally.
Manx Rally. There used to be before my time was a WRC around there.
Really?
Yeah. But then I don't know what happened. It probably just fell out of favour or something like that. Yeah. So that, like, I don't know what's the word.
That sort of was your
solidified. In like, I'm all right at this.
And it's quite fun.
Yeah. It's it was good times. Unfortunately, like I've just for all the Manxies listening out there, one of my first crewmates was Kathy McGurgan, and she's fucking hilarious. Unfortunately, she passed away last year, and it's really sad. But she was the one that like dragged me up through by my fucking boots. Like, listen here, pal. Like, some serious shit's gonna happen. Like, okay. And I remember my first job, like the fucking back of my hand. Like, it was I was sat in the ambulance thinking, oh god, I'm responsible for shit. And then this bike came off at Derby at like 100 and odd mile an hour, and I'm like, oh, that's what a mangled person looks like.
Yeah.
And then instant humour, because Kathy just started being like, you'll be right. And he's like, so that I think that's where the humour started.
Yeah.
And then it just
it's a unique sense of humour we all have in this job.
Yeah, it never leaves you.
No.
I think it just gets worse. Like, way worse.
It certainly doesn't get any better.
Yeah. So I did that for a good long time.
Yeah.
Honed my skills, I guess.
Awesome.
The TT.
Yeah, you see some stuff and some things on the
So
TT.
there's like, you know, there's people who are like, oh yeah, we got a trauma, and then you go to the TT and it's like, oh, this is trauma.
Yeah.
Like, this person hit a wall at 170 miles an hour. Oh, they're still alive. Like, holy shit.
We
like,
now need to do
get to work.
some stuff and some things.
some things. So obviously that one made me want to progress to a paramedic.
Yep.
I worked alongside them all the time.
Yeah.
I worked alongside some really good doctors, and they were always really sort of supportive and encouraging. And unfortunately, at the time, the Isle of Man just didn't train paramedics. So
Can see why that would be an issue.
So with the advent of the DIP HE and stuff like that, they stepped away from tech to para, which is fine, you know, government money and whatever else, and they just didn't have the training facilities, I guess. Or the lecturers, or I don't know. I was young and angry and just like, yeah, whatever. So I think I got to my mid-20s and I was fanning around with Hog and still working in a hospice and stuff like that, which I think...
And like a lot of us do, sort of hit that barrier to the next
step.
Yeah,
just like, oh, I want to progress, but I don't know how. And obviously that led me to leaving the island. The first step was I went fucking travelling, which was wild. Experienced some shit. But we're not going to go into that because it's nothing to do with this.
because you'll incriminate yourself too much.
No, I won't incriminate myself. I actually did a few things while I was out there that I didn't mean to do. Just the usual, like, oh, there's a car accident. Shit. Does anyone? Oh fuck, I am shit.
Yeah.
Like, and then trying to explain to people that no, I'm not a paramedic. Like, it's that awkward like conversation.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our ECA colleagues and our tech colleagues that they go into a house and it's like, oh, the paramedics are here.
Yeah,
it's like,
you say the word, you say the words ECA or technician to a layperson.
And it's not a dirty word.
Then, no, it's not. But like the layperson doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, and they're like an ECA, and you're like, oh.
They see the green uniform and the yellow van and go paramedic.
Yeah, the classic that I used to fucking laugh at was, oh, you're an ambulance technician. Yeah. So you fix them. No, please don't trust me with a wrench. Please don't give me a fucking socket.
Things will fall off.
Yeah, well, I built a shed, but...
Sheds are strong.
So I did a bit of travelling, and then I went back to the Isle of Man, and again...
nothing much had changed.
Nothing much had changed in terms of training or progression. Mm-hmm. So it was like that odd, like, oh, fuck, what do I do? And then I put an application in with LAS... the Scottish Ambulance Service.
Okay.
West Mids, I think, and SWAST. And I had no UK friends. Like, I didn't know anyone over here. And I was like, whatever, I'll just fucking send it.
It'll be grand.
It'll be fucking grand. Like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, SWAST got back to me first.
So they won.
And then they were like, oh, congratulations on your successful application. I was like, oh, okay. And then it was like, ding, 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 ding. Like, oh, right, I've got a choice here. And then,
so everyone got back to you.
Yeah. But SWAST won, and I was like, fuck it. Whoever comes first, I'll just take that one.
And was that as an ECA you applied for, as a tech? What did you apply as?
So, it was a tech, and I was like the last like techs to come through, I guess.
Yeah.
But then, I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to say this or not.
So I'm gonna guess that your tech qualification didn't translate from Manx to English.
Oh, it did.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it was HCD. It was QualSafe or whatever it was back in the day. But I ended up working as an ECA. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Internal ambulance politics.
It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like, whatever.
So ECA
for SWAST for 9 months.
9 months.
9 months, and then I got on my para course.
Nice.
Yeah, and there was a few people who were quite annoyed, but they were doing that. What's the word? Is it the 9 month conversion?
No, it wasn't even that. It was something ridiculous.
There was a couple of people like
30 weeks.
Nick and a couple of the other Stroudies. They were on it.
So were you on?
No, I didn't do that one.
No, you didn't do that
no.
one.
So I missed that one. and then
Yeah, so the one after was a bit longer. So,
Yeah.
but before we get into your paracourse,
Yeah.
so you've applied for several services.
Yeah.
SWAST have won ambulance service bingo. They've come back
basically,
first.
yeah, it's like ding ding ding.
They've come back first, and you've gone full send into this, leaving home,
Yeah, oh yeah,
moving to the mainland.
yeah. Didn't give a fuck.
We're going to become paramedics. So
Yeah.
you've arrived at SWAST.
Yeah.
Day one.
Mhm.
Can you remember day one? Talk us through what happened.
Day one, not a lot really. No. They
Presumably you started on relief like all of us in the ambulance service do. The 3 guarantees in life that are taxes, death, and relief.
and relief, yeah,
Yeah,
taxes. Yeah. I gave my pound of flesh to relief.
Yeah. I think every ambulance staff member does.
Yeah. So you'll remember this, but you new motherfuckers have got to fucking learn. Like, so I think now it's like you can't be sent 40 minutes from your station, your base station.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. So relief policy.
Oh, like back in the old day, it was.
Yeah, we'll put you fucking wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my base station was Stroud. So that was my allocated
Station.
first station. Right, fine. But you're on relief.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're not allowed. So I think the policy now. Please quote me on this, anyone from SWAST, because I'm not in there anymore. But it was like they can't send you more than like 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah. So I think the new policy is team, station, county.
Where's Shane Clark when you need him?
Where is Shane? So yeah, the new policy I think is team, station, then county. Whereas like the old policy was like there's a gap here. See you later.
Fuck you. Yeah. So my initial base. So I rented this fucking poxy flat in Gloucester, which was fine. I didn't need anything else. Everything went in the car, and that was the start of it, really.
And that was it.
And then
SWAST, here we come.
Oh God, I'm so sorry. SWAST, here we come. Yeah. And then started at Stroud, but obviously it was on relief. Relief was a fucking nightmare. Like,
Is for most people.
yeah, but this is when they would send us to Bristol.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not
Sound well.
not
Yates.
very cash money.
Oh.
Yarte, I think you'll find.
Yachty. So yeah, that wasn't fun.
No.
But within about I don't know, a couple of weeks. No, not a couple of weeks. A couple of months.
Yeah.
Like pre-paramedic course, I was Stroud.
Yeah.
Was my base station. That was my home for quite a few years.
Quite a few years.
Quite a few years. Like,
You were there a long time.
yeah.
So you've arrived, you've done your ECA bit, you've got onto your para course.
Yeah.
You've then spent how long as a paramedic? How long have you been qualified now?
2018.
You old bastard.
It's not fucking old. Fuck off.
No, it's only a year more than me in fairness.
2018, 2019, something like that, I think. I don't know.
No, I qualified 2019.
So, shout out to the motherfucker Ryan Wiltshire. He was my mentor through...
Really?
Yeah, and he, for 2 years, put up with my shit. Like, so fucking...
Well
bravo,
done,
Well
Ryan.
done. And he signed me off, and he was like...
How much did you have to bribe him?
Good fucking luck. There was work on it... Outside of ambulance service, funny story. Me and Ryan almost got shot in Birmingham because at the time I had
what?
At the time I had a van and he wanted a new engine for his Mini. So being a good student and all that, we drove
offered your services.
We drove to Birmingham and went down this back alley. And I was like, Ryan, are you sure this is the right fucking address?
Is this legit?
Is this legit? We're gonna get stabbed. And then this guy and we were driving down this lane and I was like, we're gonna fucking die. We're gonna fucking die. And Ryan's like, we're gonna fucking die. And then we pulled up to this warehouse and like about 3 guys came out like, the fuck you doing here? And it was like, we're here to pick up an engine.
Please don't kill us.
Wait, yeah, please don't fucking shoot me in the head. Ryan's got like $2,000 in his pocket in cash. Like, and then all of a sudden, this big, tall, skinny fella busts out this door like, oh, hey man, are you here for the Honda engine? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, and all these guys just calmed right down, like straight away. And I was like, oh, thank the Lord, baby Jesus. Like, in my head was just doing this. It's alright, this is non-PC, so fuck! Like, that's all it was doing. It was just like, we're going to fucking die. Anyway, thanks, Ryan. So that's the kind of bribery I had to do to pass my para course.
Cool.
Very good paramedic. He pushed me really hard. Like, you know, there's this whole, like, tech and para's just a bit higher, but it's absolutely not. Chalk and cheese.
It's the same. It's the same but different.
Yeah, you used to discharge people as a technician, going, yeah, this is fine. And then you read more, and then and you know more, and you're like, oh, fucking hell! Like, I did not know this. Like, how didn't I know this? Yeah. Like, oh my god! But
ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is fucking bliss.
Ignorance is dangerous AF as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, did my 2 years.
Yep.
And then spent the rest of it at Stroud as a para.
As one of the world's biggest shit magnets.
Absolutely. So yeah, my audience. Our audience.
Yeah, so for our American audience, Kyle is what I think is known colloquially as a black cloud. Any terrible job you can think of, Kyle has probably gone to it. To give you an extent of the idea of how much of a black cloud this guy is, when working at the TT one year, motorcyclist came off, Kyle has gone to tend to him. Motorcyclist has opened his eyes and gone, oh fuck, you're here, I've crashed, haven't I?
Yeah. He was deeply unconscious before that. And this mug was the first thing that he fucking seen, and I was like, oh bother, and he knew me by first name terms.
Yeah, because your prowess of just going to weird and wonderful things clearly extends across the Irish Sea.
It does, yeah.
So
follows me.
What would you say has been one of your best days on the job? What's one thing that's like, not necessarily like a wholesome story or a good save, but like just one of those shifts you look back on and go like, that is one of the best shifts I've ever worked in my career?
I don't think you can pin it down to one. I don't think you can pin it. I generally don't think you can pin it down to one. There's loads you can think of.
Yeah.
Like, you know, examples of like, you know, working with your best friend.
Yeah.
Like, you know, any shift that included like, you know, when I became a para, if me and Ryan got crewed back up again.
Oh, getting the band back together is brilliant.
It's just like, oh, this is fucking mint.
I remember working with the first ever student I had, Jess, who, a big shout out to Jess, she's been through some stuff and some things this year.
Some things?
She's been through some stuff and some things, and she's coming out the other side of it. But like, when we got the band back together after she qualified, it was just one of the best shifts ever.
Yeah.
It was so good. But I need an answer out of you. Like, come on, what is a memorable day for you from your career? And it doesn't necessarily need to be SWAST. It could be from Hog or from something. But come on, there's got to be.
I genuinely like. Oh, for fuck's sake! Why does this keep doing this? I don't know. It is Echo. I hope it's not Echo, but yeah.
He'll clear it up in post production. It'll be fun.
I don't think so. Let me just make sure it's still fucking recording. That's the main bit. Yeah, we're still recording. It's
wonderful.
Fine. It's fine. So, the best day.
Or one of the best days. Come on. I know there's going to be a lot to choose from.
Yeah, but again, like I think it comes back to more like not core memories as such, but just like, you know, me and Sam Morris were on a night shift together, both paramedics, driving through the middle of fucking nowhere, and we come across this bunch of cows that just happened to just be stood in the middle of the road, like no fence or anything, just
suddenly
in the middle of the road. And then anyway, we turned the lights on, and we were going back to base.
Yeah.
We turned the lights on, the disco lights, and we put some drum and bass on, and the fucking cows were sticking their head through the window. Like, all right, how's it going?
And cows were fans of drum and bass.
I know, yeah, chasing status, baby. And yeah, just having a rave in the cab, and it's like the fuck. Another funny Sam story. Sorry, Sam. We did work together quite a bit, so it's just dropping you in it really. We went to pick up this gentleman, and it was just a home to hospital transfer.
Yep.
And he was a lovely bloke. And his wife was like, "Oh, he needs like 10-15 minutes." We're like, yeah, okay. They're like, "Oh, here's a cup of coffee. Wander around." And it was this mansion, and I mean a fucking mansion.
Yeah.
And if you're watching out there, your house is beautiful. Yeah. And anyway, Sam, being the nosy bitch that she is, fucking opens this door, and a fucking stag head falls off the wall, and like almost fucking skulls her. And then I hear from down the corridor, this, like, and I was just like, oh. what the fuck has she done? And so I went down, and she's like, fucking Starkhead,
That's
fucking bullshit.
phenomenal.
And I was like, oh, fine. I don't know. Again, like, it's really hard, isn't it? Like,
it is. Like, there are so many
for,
funny moments in this job.
You're in for such a long time.
That it all kind of blends into one. It all just blends
together, but, like...
what about your one of your most interesting patients you've met? Because, like, we meet some... That is one of the things I love most about what we do. Is you meet some fascinating people. Like, so... Two that come to mind for me is I met one guy who was former Royal Navy, then went into the intelligence services. Wouldn't tell me about what he did.
Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He said he worked in the civil service and lived in Gloucestershire. It doesn't take a genius to work out that he probably worked at GCHQ.
Of course yeah.
or if they say they work in IT or civil servant, it's GCHQ. It's just the way it is. I'm sorry. But he was part of the Royal Naval Protection for when the UK detonated its first atomic weapon.
Holy shit.
And in his study, he had a brilliant certificate that said where he'd been and
had his name on it. Yeah. Oh,
and it was just so cool.
Yeah.
And like the other one was I met the granddaughter of the guy that designed the smoke system for the Red Arrows.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the most random thing ever. We were queuing outside Gloucester. Shock.
We would never do that. Gloucester Royal Hospital does not have a queuing problem. Please don't fucking sue me. Please don't fuck. I have no money.
For the purpose of the tape,
I have no money.
For the purpose of the tapes, our names are Richard Davis.
Sorry, Rich.
Sorry, Rich.
Sorry, mate.
But you are being thrown under the bus. Just like randomly we're chatting, and like she was like, oh yeah, my grandfather designed it. It's like, that's the wildest thing ever.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So like,
interested. Yeah, again, like,
I know I have a very weird memory for jobs.
No. I mean, like, I just lots of my stuff is like quite patient identifiable. HCPC. I have read your social media policy. None of this will breach. I guess going back to your like the funniest day on the best day on the job.
Best, funniest, whatever.
Best, funniest. So best day on the job. Oh, I don't know. Probably I had literally just qualified as a para. Like, I was a baby para. And obviously I've been a technician for a few years, so like I knew my drugs, I knew what
pathways
to do.
And all that good stuff.
Like, you know, sometimes you'd be like, I need a fucking adult. Like, oh wait,
I am the adult.
I am the adult.
I need an adultier adult.
Yeah. So I had a split crew, so I was working at Stroud.
Yep.
Stav was the ECA, so I went to pick him up. Did the day, was fine. It was really hot and sunny. We got fucking ice cream.
Love working on sunny days. It's the best thing ever.
No, it's fucking not.
No, it is.
Because I want to be in a fucking beer garden, John.
I mean, aside from that, but I love working in nice weather.
Yeah, I guess
it just makes the job seem better. Never get a nice outdoors job. You always end up in a care home that's 4 million degrees. But you know.
Oh, we've got the heating on. Why do you have the heating on? So this is probably going to sound really just like the classic, like, I'm a fucking hero. But it wasn't because of what I did.
Yeah.
It was because of not the hilarity, just the that came about afterwards. Like, so I dropped the ECA off.
Yeah.
And dispatch rang me. And I can't remember the dispatcher, but she was...
So, sorry, you've dropped them off to finish their shift?
Yeah, to finish their shift, yeah. So I'm heading back to Stroud on a truck
to go home.
To go home.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. Heading back to Stroud.
And then next minute the radio was like, let me play you the song of my people.
And oh, fuck. And I, look, I'm really sorry, but you're just about to drive past something? And I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. What is it?
And what was that something?
It was a 16-month-old who was fitting. And I was like, fine, yeah, whatever. And as I turned up, I remember the dad being at the door and going, where's the other one?
Where's the rest of you?
And I'm like, oh. And like, he looked quite concerned, and I was like, fuck.
Which is also worrying, because it implies they know a little bit about the job.
Yeah. So they know that there's two. And I'm just like, yeah, it's just me, I'm afraid. And he literally just looked at me in the eye and went, you're going to need more people. And I'm just like...
Oh, that's never good.
No, I was just like, oh, fuck? So, and now I don't have a stress response. Like I don't like.
No.
I don't. There's
You
none
just
of that.
internalise everything.
In my head, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But outside, I'm just like, oh. And rather than being like, oh god, oh god, oh god, in my head, it's usually just, fuck. My day's about to go shit.
It's the heaviest of heavy
yeah,
sighs.
Yeah. And as John just said before, shit just follows me round. So anyway, go upstairs,
really
in the cot, kids season, fine. Like,
well, it's not, but
it's not fine, but like fine. I know what's happening. Like it's none of this grey area job. It was just
it's quite
seizure, excellent, right? And I'd given rectal diaz to loads of people before, but I think this was maybe one of the youngest people I had.
Okay.
Anyway, I just said to the mum, I was like, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to give them this drug. It's going to stop them fitting, but it might stop them breathing. And the mum just looked at me, and I was like, like, and then the diazepam did its thing.
Did its thing really well, I'm guessing?
Yeah, too well.
Too well.
But anyway, I had a BVM all right already, so. And anyway, an SP turned up on a car, and I was like, "All right, dude," and he just goes,
specialist paramedic for those that are wondering what SP stands for.
It wasn't a critical care; it was a SPUEC.
Specialist paramedic in urgent and emergency care.
I know it's going to be different in London, West Mids. It's going to be APs.
APUEC in London.
Yeah, and then Wales have got something else.
I don't know what Wales have got.
No idea. But anyway, he walked in and he goes, "Oh, did diazepam work then?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like,
please help.
He's like, "Please help." And I was like, "Please don't tell me you're on a car." And he's like, "I'm on a car." And I was like, "Great."
So you've gone from you've basically now just have a crew. That's all you've achieved.
Yeah.
Your backup has allowed you just to become an ambulance.
Yeah. But this motherfucker, not this motherfucker, that motherfucker. he's a lovely bloke. I was like, "Hey, you're the specialist here," and he's like, "Yep, I'm driving." And I was like, fuck. And he goes, "You're newly qualified, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's just like, "Well, you can have it." And I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" And I think the thing that made it not memorable, but just good. Like, I just felt that I had myself under control, and
I know.
It was a bit funny,
when those jobs just go
well
smooth.
Yeah. And anyway, ended up getting a plaudit and a letter from them and stuff like that. So that was probably like.
I presume a letter saying thank you and not not a complaint letter.
So like it was like, "Oh, he's been diagnosed with epilepsy and blah blah blah. Thank you for everything you did." Blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that's probably one of the more memorable ones. The funniest, however.
Okay.
The funniest. My funniest job. I'm going to try and keep this as
unidentifiable as possible.
Please don't get me sacked. So I was on a night shift. I think it was a night shift or the tail end of a late.
Okay.
I want to say. No, it was a night because I went back. Yeah. So I was on an RV. Got sent to.
That's a rapid response vehicle, so ambulance car.
FRV to
the Londoners in the house.
I don't know.
US folks like a sprint car. I think that's what they call it.
I don't think they had RVs.
Yeah. So in New Orleans they do. I know. Great book for those of you that want like some more EMS based stories. Great book called Hard Roll by New Orleans paramedic called John McCarthy. Very very good book.
Sound.
Yeah.
I just didn't know they had RVs.
They do. They call them sprint cars.
Sprint cars, all right.
Because day's fast.
Day is fast. So for our non-medical users,
non-medical users,
listeners,
/ watchers,
RRV, rapid response vehicle. You're on your own. It's always a good day. Like on the car.
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, you can mull around and do what you want. Well,
within reason.
But you're respondable to Cat 1s normally, so Category 1 calls are the highest priority. And I don't know why this came through as a Cat 1, because as I was going to it, because nothing came up on the MDT, which is like the iPad in the middle of the screen to tell you what your job is, and nothing came up, dispatcher rang me like, "Look, I don't know what's going on, but someone's screaming, and someone sounds like they're dying." And I was like, that's probably...
That's one of those jobs that's going to go either way.
Yeah.
It's either going to be, you're going to get there, and like, all hell is breaking loose.
Yeah.
Or it's just going to be a nothing job.
Yeah. So anyway...
And knowing you, it's probably the former.
Well, kind of.
Yeah. See? Told you.
Well,
anyway, carry on.
Not serious, but... Yeah. So I rock up, and obviously with those kind of jobs, you just take fucking everything.
Yeah.
So green bag. I had my monitor. This was paper times.
So the big clipboard.
Yeah, no, I had a little clipboard with a little calculator and shit on the top.
Obviously, for you know.
Because I'm a fucking fancy fucker. So went to this block of flats, beautiful block of flats, and I remember going upstairs and I was pressing the flat button like and I was like, dispatch, like they're not letting me in. Okay, I'll phone them. And then this woman just hangs out the window, and I could see she was naked, and like I was like, oh, and she's like, I can't open the door, and I was like, oh my god, like something's obviously gone fucking sideways. So anyway, I rang another flat, they let me in, I go upstairs. Anyway, walk in this hallway, and it's like a little box to start with when you open the door.
Yeah.
And then it's like a long hallway which led to like the living room.
Okay, yeah.
And as I get through the first door, like to this little box thing, this dude comes absolutely, and I mean flat out, running past me like, completely bollock naked. And holding his arse. And I was just like, Anyway, so I decided to follow him because he clearly didn't want to talk. I walk into the living room, and the coffee table is covered in drug paraphernalia, if you know what I mean. The Colombian marching powder. And the place stunk of fucking weed. And I was like, oh, okay. And there was some loud, like, ravey music on. And I was like, can we just...
turn that off?
Because he's clearly not dead. And she's in the corner holding her knees naked.
Also clearly not dead.
Rocking. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? Like,
lots of questions,
and
not
so
a lot
anyway,
of answers.
he's doing laps. He's doing laps at the coffee table. And he wouldn't say anything. And I was like, and he runs back down the corridor. And I just...
Have you got like any backup coming at this point?
No, because like I hadn't ringed dispatch to even let them know that I was in the property at this point. And I was like, okay, what the fuck? So anyway, I crouched down, did the ambulance squat to her, and I was like, look, what's going on? And she's like, it's all just, I didn't mean to. I was like, oh my god, what the fuck? Anyway, I was like, is he the patient?
Or is there someone you've not found?
Or is there someone in the house that's going to jump out and fucking shoot me? And she goes, it's him. And I was like, fine. So anyway, he's coming back down the corridor. And for those that know me, I'm quite a tall chap, and I'm quite heavy.
He is. He's a lanky bastard.
So this motherfucker got clotheslined. Like, just put my arm out, and I just, like, cuddled him and just, like, took him to the floor, because he clearly wasn't, like, with it, like, at all. And his nose was just covered in drugs. And I was just like, oh. And I just looked at him in the eye, and I was like, it is the ambulance service.
Calm down, please.
What is going on? And he's just like, okay. And I was like, did you not even realise, like, I was in the house? And he was like, oh, no, I thought you were a statue. And I was like, oh, my God. Like, so anyway, I help him up. And I just put him on the sofa. And, like, I'd already got her a blanket. And I went and got him the duvet. And I was like, just cover up your junk, please, sir. What has happened? And he goes, I don't really want to talk about it. I was like, okay. I'm not the police. Yeah.
Nothing is admissible as evidence.
Yeah, no, the whole thing.
But I need to be able to treat you.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, still no truck. And I said, look, this guy needs to go in. I don't know what's wrong with him yet, but if you could get me something running. And they just laughed at me, and they were like, no. And I was like,
no.
All right, cool, fine. I know what's happening here. I'm going to have no backup for 5 hours.
Yeah.
So
in the car we go.
Yeah, so all his obs were fine, and he did calm down, and he kind of like clicked back into the room.
Yeah.
Cool. I was able to sort of chat with him. I'm like, look, dude, like you know, I just kind of need to know like the faint story.
Yeah.
Is it the drugs?
Yeah.
You're holding your backside, so have you been stabbed, or are you in pain, or
what's the deal?
What's the deal?
Have you fallen?
Yeah, and he was just like, no. So he's like, as you can see, like we're partying, I've taken this, I've taken that, and I'm like, okay, fine, like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like as long as you're like, he was a bit tacky, obviously.
Yeah. But you're breathing, you're not bleeding.
Yeah. Like, okay, like,
cool.
Do you want to talk to me about it more? And he's like, absolutely not. And I'm like, fine. I was like,
Groovy.
Do you think you can get in the car? Because it's the only way we're going to get to the hospital. and do you want to go? He's like, absolutely. And I was like, oh, that was fucking
an easy
easy.
sell.
You know, he didn't have capacity at all. So,
But-
I was
but-
like,
so
yeah.
winning-
So anyway, he sat like, you know, like this, like the whole way. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And it wasn't that far. So we pull up, and the charge nurse just looked at me and was like, what the fuck is this? And this is before queuing, so we could just walk in. And she was like, pay 10 or whatever.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was like, yeah, cool. And the doc came for a handover, and I was like, all right, doc. And it was a junior.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what's the
Not
crack?
that there's anything wrong with junior doctors.
No, absolutely not. No, but like, this leads on to...
Fresh-faced EM physician.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, he was like a first year, you know, like a first year junior. But it comes into later on, like...
Okay.
Why? Because he's about my age at this time.
Okay.
So he's like late 20s. And he's just like, all right, dude, all right, yeah. So took the handover, and I was like, I think there's something up his rectum. And he's just like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. And it didn't really faze him. So I was just like, okay.
Things like that in emergency medicine won't faze you.
Yeah, no, well, it didn't, but my curiosity was just too much. So anyway, I go and do some other jobs, and then I came back for coffee or something like that, or
Always
catch
time
up.
for coffee.
Yeah, there is always time for coffee. And the junior doctor was like, and he was at the desk, and I think he heard me talking, and he looks up, and he just goes,
You.
and I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
Complaints incoming.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, God, what have I missed, Doc? And he's like, you've not missed anything. And he just burst into tears laughing. And I'm like, what's the fuck
What's
is
going on?
What's going on? He goes, follow me. I'm like, oh. So into resus we go. This dude's sedated like he is. Out like a light. And I'm just like, all right. And he's just like, yeah. Look at this. And I'm like, look at what? And he's like, I'm not going to show you the x-ray just yet. And I'm just like, And he rolls this chap over, and out from, a hospital gown, like, ties up the back.
Yeah.
So out from behind the hospital gown is this little plastic ring with a bit of string attached. Okay. And I was like, what is that? And he goes, that's inside of him. I was like, no, I'm not touching that. And he just goes, go on. And I'm like, no, I'm not touching that. I am not fucking touching that. And I didn't touch it because I was just like, no fucking way. No
Absolutely
fucking way.
not.
So anyway, fucking flicks the computer on, shows the x-ray. It's a Woody doll.
No!
Yeah, like from Toy Story. And one of the nurses...
So,
one of the nurses...
He had a friend in him.
Yeah, he did have a friend. He got a friend in him. But apparently one of the nurses that was helping him get changed had pulled her, and it just said, there's a snake in my boot.
Somebody's
like,
poisoned the water hole.
No, but it was like proper fucking muffled. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, oh my God. And the doc was literally sat on the floor crying, laughing. And so was I, to be fair.
How has a... I don't want to know.
Yeah, it wasn't like floppy, it was like solid. But it turns out that they had been getting funky, and she had just grabbed something
and
given
full send.
Yeah, full send. Like, you know, I don't know whether he was asking for it or not. That's not for me to comment. I'm not going to kink shame anyone.
No. Well, yeah.
But yeah,
safe space, tree of trust.
That was it. I was just like,
wow.
I just remember just looking at it like, please don't tell me. No, don't. I'm not touching that. And he's like, go on. And I was like, no. And he's like, this is fucking weird. And I'm like, Jesus.
That's mental.
Yeah.
But like, the thing, so like, they say that everyone who works in emergency medicine has a...
Well, I thought it'd start with an up-the-ass story. Well, because everyone has an up-the-ass story.
But they don't. Like, I haven't. I've never been to anyone...
Really?
No.
I've been to loads.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm just not going to...
yeah, I don't know, maybe I did it, you never know.
But, like, I know loads of people that don't have... what do they call it? FBUA? Foreign body up ass?
I thought you said FUBAR. Like I said,
no, that's something
recognition.
Different.
Like,
I mean, that too. Yeah, like, they say it like everyone in EM does, but, like, I don't, and I know loads of people that also don't.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just certain people, like you weirdo.
Yeah. I was on with another para from Stroud. She'll remember this story.
Mentioning no names,
and literally, the guy had walked from Lidl to his house and shoved this, like, cucumber, like, and it was fucking massive. And all the way up, and like obviously it acts like a vacuum, doesn't it?
So, public service message: never put anything up your butt that's not got a flared base.
Yeah, or that's like stuck to something or something. I don't know. So fucking hell. So anyway, and he just looks at her and like just grins and goes, "I really liked it." And this paramedic was like, she was just like absolutely disgusted, and I was like, "Oh,
Oof.
no, like, fuck that."
No.
But yeah, so that's probably one of the funnier things. I don't know why, but when I tell it in a pub, it seems funnier. But like when I tell it on here, it doesn't.
It's
just
just wild.
But yeah, I don't know. But everyone from the services will have stuff like that, and that's
absolutely.
That's kind of what I want to like just chat to them about.
Absolutely, it's just. But yeah, like you say, not everyone has those stories. I certainly have never been to anyone with anything at their butt.
Up the bum stories aren't always funny.
No, they're not. Like sometimes they are problematic, like the guy with the mortar shell that went to Gloucester, somewhere it really shouldn't have been. That
we can't get busted for that because that was in the news.
That was in the national news.
That was in the national. It wasn't bomb squad for that one.
It was bomb squad for that one.
Oh. But then you get your light-hearted practical jokes like Ryan, you fucking prick. So when we used to get standby,
what's that?
Yeah, exactly. There was I wear hex boots, so they're the zippy ones, so you can slip. Hakes. Shout out to Hakes, please sponsor us. Hakes.
Absolutely love your work.
I thought it was hexes.
No, it's Hakes.
Oh, it's Hakes. All right, okay. Anyway, I wear Hakeses.
You've got a pair down there.
I know, exactly. I wear them all the time. But
Hakes, send us free stuff.
I like free boots. And the motherfucker used to note, like, when I used to go to sleep on nights, because I wouldn't eat anything on nights because I would feel shit.
Fair enough.
But I'd unzip my boots, I'd go in a recliner chair, and for my hour break,
you would sleep.
I'd be fucking out, like...
Are you gifted with that talent of, like, being able to sleep on a chicken slip?
Yeah.
Like, literally, you can put your head back, close your eyes, and actually
I can sleep in this chair. Like, I could sleep on a stool. Like, if I'm precariously balanced, I could probably fall asleep.
It's a gift that a lot of people in EM and FEM are gifted with, just the unnatural ability to sit down in anything and just...
Pretty much. But you put me in a bed and I'm fucking insomniac.
Yeah, that says a lot about... we're not going to pull the mental health threat. We will get to it. We will discuss it, but not yet.
Spicy memories.
It's not PTSD. It's spicy deja vu. We don't call it an emotional. We don't call it emotional baggage. It's a grief case.
It's a fucking meme of it.
It is.
It's a grief case. Look at my grief case.
We all have very full grief cases in this line of work.
Oh, dear.
But yes, practical jokes. You were asleep in a chair at Stroud.
And Ryan thought it would be fucking hilarious, which it was to be fair.
Just not at the time.
So, at the time, Ryan was LP.
Lead paramedic.
Lead paramedic. Sorry, I keep using abbreviations.
You do. Oh, it's fine. I can fill it in. It's fine.
It's all good. And he was doing stock, and all this like lube, ET lube, had gone out of date by like a year. So he was like, "All right, okay. Well,
we need to do something with it.
It needs to go in the bin."
I declare shenanigans.
So this motherfucker, and I don't know how long. It must have taken him an hour to do it. He fucking like single sashayed like my boots.
These are tiny sachets.
No joke. When I put I jumped up because he's like, "Oh mate, we got a job," and I was like, "Oh fucking hell, all right,
let's go."
Then just and I slid in. But
yeah, you did.
The thing about lube is that it's not wet like water.
It takes a minute
It takes
or two.
a second, and I was like, "Oh, my boots feel really weird." And I got on the truck, and I was like,
"You motherfucker!"
And he couldn't even. He was driving to the job, and he was just, and he couldn't
crying
talk.
with laughter.
Do you know when someone's like shaking violently because he's laughing so much?
Yes, I have been in that situation.
Yeah, and he's just in tears, and I was like, "You motherfucker! You absolute prick!" Like, I was like, "I'm gonna fucking get you for this." Like, I'm gonna fucking.
And what did you do to get him back?
Oh well, I used lube.
Well, obviously.
So for about a month, every shift I would lube his door handles on his car.
Is that where Rich gets it from?
I don't know.
Because Rich was a fucker for doing that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Yeah.
I remember once coming back to my car tied up with clinical waste bags and lube on every door handle. He came into work special. I was on a night shift.
Yeah.
Going into April the 1st. April Fool's Day.
Yeah, okay.
And he came into work specially just to fuck with my car.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so I did that pretty much every day for a month or so. And then I'd get him with it every now and again. Just like... and I would...
Fuck you, buddy.
Because you can't see it.
No, you can't.
And as soon as you... Yeah. And it's like, oh, you dirty... And I'd get this text or voice note, you fucking prick. Like, but then him... a paramedic called Jamie and a paramedic called Gordy got me back. So at Stroud we have a gym, and I had left my car, my estate at the time, in station drying out because I'd spilt some water or something. I can't remember, but the carpets were drying.
You didn't leave your car unlocked on station, did
you? I left it unlocked on station.
Oh, Kyle,
so
that's a
they
rookie
put
move, and you
every single dumbbell, every single disc, like, in the car. In the boot.
And your car was low to start with. Was this the Skoda?
No. This was the Passat.
I don't remember the Passat. But anyway, it had gone from being low to slammed.
Yeah. The tow hitch was on the floor. Like, it was like in the tiles on the floor. And I was like, why does my car look broken? And I was like, oh, motherfuckers. And I was late as well.
I'll say you were late, and I guarantee you were probably going out somewhere after shift as well.
No, I was just late. I remember that. Cause
top tip for the new ambulance staff in the room, never make plans after shift.
No, it's always a bad idea.
It doesn't work out for you, and it instantly means you will be finishing late, so just no matter how good an idea it seems, just don't. Just don't. It's probably the best. But yeah, so I was like 2 hours late, and then I had to spend like half an hour, and I was already knackered, and I was like lifting these fucking weights, and I was like, you fucking pricks. Like, but yeah, so like it just became, it almost got out of hand, I think. Like sometimes. Like, at some point you have to at some point you'll need to get Rich and maybe Jason together on here to talk about the prank war they had.
Oh, Jason. He's Clarky, yeah.
And Ricardo, because
is this when he took his car battery out?
That got so out of hand. I'm not going to tell the story now because I won't be able to do it justice. Jason tells it so much better than I do, but you need to get him on because
fucking hell,
that got out of hand, and they basically had to call a truce because if they didn't, someone was going to get killed, accidentally or intentionally. But either way, it wasn't going to go well. Yeah, for sure.
But Steve's my favourite from
Wilson.
He was at Colin. Steve Wilson. He's a fan of cling wrapping people's bikes.
Yes, he is. It's become an induction at the station he works at.
He's not there anymore.
Is he not?
No, he's at another station now.
So it was for when new starters who chose to cycle to this station.
If you rode a bicycle, you're fucking getting it.
It was getting covered in cling film and put either on top of a vehicle or on top of some lockers, if you're lucky. We shared the station with another service that drove red vehicles, and it was a big old station, and stuff could be hidden. Shenanigans. Yeah. The cling wrap used to get me every fucking time. Because it doesn't damage anything, but it's the most fucking frustratingly annoying thing when you finish late to have to unwrap your bike.
Yeah.
And most people don't carry knives on them in this job.
No. Tough cuts, but yeah.
Yeah, tough cuts but they're NHS tough cuts, so they don't
£1.50
cut anything. Unless you're like me and have an award-winning utility belt with many tools and things on.
You could kill someone with that belt just by hitting with them.
Yeah, you could. Thing is, people take the piss. Everything comes in useful.
Eventually.
Shut up. But yeah, it's just the most frustrating, annoying thing to have to unwrap your bike before you can go home, or indeed unload your car of gym equipment.
Oh fuck! I remember it so well. I remember parking the truck in the garage, and I was like, "Why does my car look so fucking oh motherfucker!" Either they've jacked up and taken the fucking coils out of it, or there's something really heavy in the back.
Really heavy in there.
Yeah, and I was like, and the entire gym was in there. Every dumbbell, every plate weight, every barbell.
You name it.
You name it. It was in the back of this estate, and I was like, fair fucking play. Like,
strong effort, well
done.
Strong
effort.
I fucking hate you all.
Yeah. How long did that take you? Like, probably about fucking 10 minutes for 3 of them, but
but on your own, 45 minutes.
It wasn't great. Like it was, especially when you're exhausted.
Yeah, exhausted from a late job that was probably, knowing you, ended up in resus, and there was
but it was funny, like no matter what. It was just like, oh, how am I going to get everyone back? I'm not. I think that was the end of it then. Like,
yeah, I think at some point you've got to go, I've been bested.
Yeah.
Because like three against one isn't going well.
It's fucked. But yeah.
So like we've talked about like you've come up through the ranks, you've started on the island with Hog, you've come across to Swast. We've talked about your good days, your funny days. It would be remiss of us to not talk about not necessarily the bad days, but this job definitely takes its toll on people, leaves its mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
It certainly has on me. And many people I know, like we all struggle with mental health in this job. We just don't fucking talk about it. A lot of us do dumb stuff like get tattoos to,
I don't get tattoos.
Kyle.
I don't get tattoos.
Pull sleeves down. And like do things to like, cope with some of the truly fucking horrendous things we have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like how do you... What's your method? How do you cope? What do you do? Besides getting...
Oh, I couldn't do your job, John.
I can't do my job.
I don't know. I think it's all like this podcast. It's
going to be a bit of a catharsis.
Yeah. I always feel that humour fixes a lot of stuff.
It really does.
And
but we're in that unfortunate position where our brand of like the TV program Ambulance, incredibly well done, doesn't really show the job how it is, because our brand of humour, many would find quite insensitive.
Yeah, so if you don't like it, don't report us, just don't listen.
So like we will joke about some
pretty bad stuff.
the paramedic will remain nameless. The job happened a long time ago. It's not going to be identifiable. But I went to someone who took their own life by stepping in front of a train. That made quite a mess. And at the end of this job, when everything was said and done, got back in the cab with this very, very good, seasoned paramedic. And he's just gone, it's put me in the mood for a burger.
Yeah.
And like, that shit...
I like snacks.
That shit was fucking hilarious. But you say that to a muggle and they're like, oh my God, you unfeeling monster.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So yeah, we're not in the best position where we can sort of truly like laugh about what we want, which is where this podcast has come along. But yeah, absolutely. So like, how do you unwind? How do you cope? What's your method?
I don't really have one, if I'm honest. Like, I think there'll be a few of it. Well, I think most of us, we just kind of compartmentalize it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially the way we like debrief and stuff like that. I think that's always really good. Again, humour. Like plus. Yeah, plus many pluses.
Humour. First responder humour is a very unique thing.
Yeah, the debriefs always help. Getting to know outcomes always helps. Nothing's really...
See, that's interesting. I find a lot of people don't... I find being outcome focused can be challenging for people. Because we do all this, we spent, 3 years at university.
Yeah.
Like, some of us go off and do master's degrees. That was a mistake.
Whose idea was that, John?
It was mine, and I roped 2 more people into it. And Robbie and Lucy, if you're watching / listening, I am sorry I roped you into this.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I thought it was a good idea at the time, which is how most of these dumb stories start. At the time, I thought this would be hilarious.
No. Funny stories start with "Hold my beer, watch this,"
and then a paramedic shows up.
Yeah. So yeah, no,
but yeah, we go off and we do all this, wonderful training and simulation stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we do some great medicine in some awful places, and the outcome is inevitably not great.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get quite disillusioned, going, "Well, what's the fucking point of that?" I think being focused on the process can be a lot more healthy than the outcome.
Yeah.
So like you said, like the seizing baby you went to. The job, you said, went fucking brilliant. And it also helped that it had a good outcome.
Yeah.
But if it hadn't, to focus on just the process going, I fucking bossed that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can see, I think sometimes be a more healthy thing than looking at necessarily the outcome. Because my view, rightly or wrongly, is once they get to hospital, it's very much the hospital's problem. I can't influence anything that happens.
not my fucking problem.
What he said.
Not to sound cold, but I've done my 10 minutes of...
Yeah.
Like,
we can't influence the decisions.
I have no brain left.
We can't influence the decisions the hospital makes, and that
Yeah.
outcome is instantly out of my hand.
Absolutely. So yeah, I don't drink any. Like if I do something really horrendous, like I don't go near alcohol for ages. I'm not really a big drinker anyway. I do enjoy a whiskey. Don't get me wrong.
Who doesn't?
But it's more of a social thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll always talk to like other paras and stuff, and not necessarily to get their opinion of what they would do,
But just a soundboard.
Yeah, just to talk to someone, really.
Yeah.
I mean, like talk to you.
Just to relive
Sam,
the job can be quite.
Yeah, just to talk about it, because I mean, you'll have everyone like there's 100 ways to skin a cat, isn't there? Like.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been taught how to skin a cat.
Meow.
I think my cat would have some fucking opinions on that, if I'm being honest.
Excuse me, don't fucking skin me. But yeah, no. Oh fucking hell! Why does it keep doing that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He will clean all this up in editing, I promise.
Well, I fucking hope so.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
An NHS spokesperson was here to say.
Yeah. NHS. Not that our government's a load of shit. Anyway, yeah, like everyone does things differently. Like
Absolutely.
and
there is no right and wrong to any of it.
Put one patient in front of 10 people, they'll do 10 different things.
Absolutely.
But they'll come to the same outcome.
Yeah.
They'll just do it 10 different ways.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, you'll have your algorithms and you'll have your this, that, and the other. But like, sometimes you got to do some cowboy shit.
Oh, absolutely.
But
there is a time and a place for being a bit maverickish.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't feel that there's a particular like right. I've done this job. I'm going to go and do this now. I don't have that that set process. Some people do. Some people are like, right, yep, I'm going to go and reflect on this. I'm going to read on this. I'm going to talk about this drug with someone or talk to the consultant. But I'm just like, yeah.
For the students in the room, absolutely do that. The more you can learn as a student, the easier your life will become as a paramedic.
Yeah. But I feel sometimes as well that you need to step back from it and just be like.
Absolutely. And that was very much my downfall. Is I slept, lived, breathed ambulance service for the first
X amount of years,
and I paid the price for it and had a big wobble.
Yeah. And that's okay.
And that's okay, and that's why the briefcase is quite full. I'm
going to get you a briefcase now.
Thank you.
But
we move and we deal with these things.
Yeah.
So as we sort of bring this to a close, what I don't want to try and make this too clinical, but what I don't want to make it clinical at all. But for people who are
clinical, there's enough clinical podcasts.
No, there's
we
enough.
Want to chat shit.
There is enough clinical podcasts. The Recess Room is a very good one.
Who's on that? James Yates?
It is James Yates.
Yeah. What a guy.
What a guy. Absolutely phenomenal guy. Phenomenal guy to work with. What non-clinical advice would you give to someone coming into the world of being a first responder?
Fucking send it. Flat to the mat with a party hat. Just what do you mean, like a new person? So
someone brand new, day one of this job.
As in, they are student or they are...
They have so it's their first day, they can be ECA, student, paramedic, whatever. They have arrived, first day of the job. What important advice would you give to someone coming into the world of being a first responder?
That's a tricky one, actually. Ask loads of questions. Don't... Just take it as it comes. Just one step at a time, one day at a time, an hour at a time. Especially for your fresh face, like NQPs and stuff like that out there. Just big deep breath and fucking wing it. Because you might see, me or John out on the road. Well, I'm not on the road anymore.
You might still see me.
I do other things.
Which we will not talk about.
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about it. I was smoking then. I was like, oh bother. The shed is on fire. The shed is on fire.
Please stand by.
Yeah, so you might see us like cool as a cucumber, whatever, dealing with it, or we'll do some, rogue shit, but your day will come of that. But underneath, we're still shitting ourselves like the rest of you.
100%.
But we just shit ourselves in a different way.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome lasts throughout your career.
Yeah.
deal with it, unfortunately.
So day one, at just 1 hour at a time.
Enjoy the job.
Enjoy it.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Yeah.
Literally, rule 1, folks. Please don't be a dick.
But yeah, just enjoy it. Like, you know, people come to the end of their time, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they might just fall in love with something else. They don't want to do this anymore, or they want to carry on for the rest of their careers, and that's cool as well.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
But just 1 hour at a time. Don't look too forward into the future, because no one knows. You know, you don't know what's going to happen.
Tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Like, so, like you saying about, you know, being in for years and years and years. Like, at the start, I was genuinely like, this is my career. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my fucking existence. Like, I am down to clown. Like,
green through and through.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, like, I've moved on to other things, like, which
he is still a paramedic, but
I am still a paramedic.
But
I work.
There is more to being a paramedic than just being in the ambulance service.
Absolutely, and that's another thing to remember. If you do your time and you want to get out, there's so many pathways. So many pathways.
So many.
I go hide on oil rigs and stuff like that now, and do what
other things.
Other things.
Stop talking.
It's for the government. Help. Blink 3 times. Yeah. But yeah, there's so much out there if you want to like leave the service. But yeah, like again, just like an hour at a time. Just
man.
And absolutely, just fucking send it. Like, I think that's
just enjoy the time.
Yeah, just enjoy your time. Like
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway,
that's been awesome. Thanks for that, Kyle.
No, thank you for helping me with my introduction to episode 1, and I'm sure we'll have John back at some point.
Nobody wants to listen to me.
Again, I'll leave the links below for all my social media, for Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, that sort of thing. If you want a story read out, I think John will probably come back and help me read a few out.
Yeah, if you've got any stories like you want read out, go for it. Please keep them anonymous.
Keep them anonymous.
But this is all about
comedic value.
And spreading the human side of this job. Like, as we've already said, there are a lot of clinical podcasts out there. And there aren't enough that just talk about like how cool this job can be.
Yeah.
Like, people will say that I've got a very biased opinion and I'm terribly keen. And I was keen. You know, I really was very keen. But like, I still do love this job, and you do some cool stuff, and experience some truly interesting and wonderful and equally heartbreaking moments. And we want you to share those moments, because it can be very easy to get wrapped up in how bad the job can be, with handover delays, excessive workload,
government being a bunch of wankers.
That too. So like, we want to bring the funny back to the job. So please send in some cool stories. Yeah,
and if you want to, in the same cuff, if you want to come on and sit and chat shit with us, just send us a message and see where we go from here. Hopefully, we'll still have our registration after this.
Remember, Richard Davis.
Yeah.
Davies. I think that's how he spells it.
IES,
yeah.
PA.
We can look up his PA number.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. No, I'm not going to fucking do that. Absolutely. Remember, folks. Who needs friends when you've got enemies? Like, oh wait, no.
But yeah, thank you, man. It's been a cool evening.
It's been cool. Nice one. See you soon.
See you soon.